G'day guys, we're back once again with our trusty R36SX with yet another batch of TreeFrogUI updates. We once again have the usual bug fixes, but also some new media players, and even a new way to update, which will make things way easier in the future. Let's get into it. We'll start off by talking about the new way to update TreeFrogUI moving forward. Now, since this new update method only works for versions 1.0.14 and newer, which is currently the latest version at the time of filming, we can't show it off today and will need to wait for a newer version to release. If you are on a version of TreeFrogUI older than 1.0.14 though, then you would still need to use the older manual update method, which we have covered in a previous video. We won't go through that again today, but instead we'll link a video guide down in the description below. Once you are on the newer versions of TreeFrogUI, you would just download the update.zip file from the GitHub releases page and drop it onto your SD card as is. No need to extract it. The next time you power up your device, it will automatically check if it's a newer version you are updating to, safely apply the update, and then automatically delete the update file so it doesn't try and do it again the next time you boot. I'm not too sure if you would be able to update straight from something like version 1.0.14 directly to a much newer version like 1.0.20 in the future, or if you would need to do incremental updates. We will hopefully show off this new update method in the next TreeFrogUI video. Now for the new media players. Starting off with a new simple audio player. This one isn't intended to be a fully featured music player, but instead just something to play single audio tracks. You do still have Rockbox if you wanted something with a little bit more features though. This new simple audio player officially supports MP3s, M4As, AACs, WAVs, FLACs, OGGs, and Opus files. And you would just copy them straight into the music folder inside the ROMs folder, not the stock one on the root of the SD card. Once copied over, you can run them from the music player option on the main menu. We'll go into it, and as you can see, we do have a bunch of test songs, but they are mostly FLACs, OGGs, and MP3s. We'll pick one just to test. I will turn it down so it's less annoying. So first of all, it loads basically instantly. That is a really great feature. So the controls are mentioned on screen on this little pop-up, and it does automatically go away when the song's playing. So if we press A to play, wait a few seconds, it seems it takes around 4 seconds to disappear. So this audio player is super simple, as the name implies. You press A to play and pause, left and right on the D-pad to skip back and forward 10 seconds, L and R to skip even more, so massive chunks, and finally you press B to go back. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a way to change the background color or turn it off completely. If there is a way to do this, please let me know down in the comments. If we press X, nothing happens, and same with Y. Pressing start also toggles pause, and pressing select just by itself seems to quit out. Also, if we go back into it and play a random song again, when it gets to the very end of the song, it doesn't auto skip to the next track, but instead just quits back out. So as mentioned, this isn't really great for playlists, and for that you would still be better off using Rockbox. But this would be pretty good for audiobooks that have been broken up into chapters, or just single tracks. The main draw here is its simplicity and performance. Songs load basically instantly, and there's almost no delay when seeking around. Now for the new video player. This one is super impressive in that it supports a fairly wide range of codecs and containers, and plays back using the stock hardware decoder, so performance is actually pretty great. The release notes mentions that it officially supports MP4s, MKVs, AVIs, MOVs, MPEGs, TS, and WebMs, and you just place them in the videos folder inside the ROMs folder. Again, not the stock one on the root of the SD card. Before we go into it, I just wanted to quickly mention that the background image for this one is pretty weird. It sort of looks like a kid's VTech handheld of some sort. If we go into the videos folder, it does actually come with a short 2-minute 640x360 Big Buck Bunny test video that uses H.264 30 frames a second with AAC audio. So that's the top one here, Big Buck Bunny CC test. We also copied over some of our own test videos in various formats and resolutions, even some that aren't officially mentioned as being supported. We'll start with the stock sample video. So again, it loads basically instantly, and seeking around is also pretty much instant. Maybe half a second delay, not bad. The controls are exactly the same as the audio player. So A to toggle play and pause, left and right to seek small amounts, L and R to skip big chunks, and B to go back. Similar to the audio player, Once it finishes playing the file, it does quit back to the main menu. No autoplay to the next video. So we know the stock one works. What about some of our test ones? They are all Big Buck Bunny, just in various formats. So we'll start with a full 1080p 30-second clip. It didn't seem to like this one and it did crash out. That's okay. Next up, we have another 30-second clip, this time 1080p 60 frames a second using H.264 and AAC audio. This one does actually work. I am super impressed at this. Syncing is almost basically instant, and because it's a high bitrate 1080p video playing on a low-res screen, it does look really awesome. Super crisp and clear. Again, once it finishes playing, it does quit out. We won't bother trying the 480p version, since we do know the 1080p high bitrate does work. I have no idea why the 1080p 30 doesn't work though. Next up, we've got MPEG-2 in 1080p. This one also plays. It is a 10.5 minute video too, but syncing is still pretty fast. Maybe around 1 second here though. Still super impressive. So WMV wasn't officially mentioned as being supported, but if we go into it, it does work. It is a little bit slow skipping, but once it starts playing, it does play perfectly. Again, this is 1080p. Super impressive. Finally, we have the old Xvid. We've got 1080 and 480. We'll try full 1080, and this does work as well. Skipping is a lot faster than WMV. I am beyond impressed with how well this plays videos. So this new video player is pretty amazing with what it supports, but to save space, you would probably be better off converting your videos since there's no real need to have high bitrate 1080p videos on such a low-res screen. For those that do have a mini HDMI port, which unfortunately mine is unpopulated, this would make a pretty great media player if you were traveling. You could just plug it into the hotel's TV and watch your movies and TV shows. It's a real shame the second SD slot is fake on these, because it would have been great to just fill up a second card full of media. Finally, the new image viewer. Now I will admit this one isn't as impressive as the new video player, but I could still see it coming in handy for reasons we'll get into shortly. The release notes mention it officially supports JPEGs, PNGs, bitmaps, GIFs or GIFs, TGAs, ICOs, WebPs, and TIFFs. And you just place everything in the images folder inside the ROMs folder. And once again, not inside the stock images folder on the root of the SD card. If we go into it, we do have two test folders here full of images. The first is just a folder full of JPEGs, which isn't too exciting, but the other one is an old Nintendo Power Magazine CBR that we extracted into individual files using 7-zip. I wanted to see if this would be good for comics and magazines, or at least better than the ebook reader, which doesn't officially support CBRs, and CBZs didn't scale properly. We'll start with our folder full of holiday snapshots though, I guess starting with picture 1. And again, it does load basically instantly, and we can use the D-pad to skip through to the next image. Again, the controls are on screen, but they are pretty straightforward. You press R to toggle between fill and fit, although visually they both look the same to me, at least on all the images that I've tried. You use left and right on the D-pad to change the picture, you press X to rotate, and you press Y to hide the little info bar, although it does auto-hide after a few seconds. The L and R buttons also just skip to the next or previous image. Not by a lot, just by one. We might quit out of this by pressing B, and we'll take a look at our Nintendo Power Magazine. We'll start with image 000, and straight away we can see it is full screen, which is a massive win over the stock ebook reader. However, there's unfortunately no way to zoom and pan around the image, meaning it is basically impossible to read. If we skip through, so for example this page of text here, you can't really read it. Also, while you can hide the on-screen display, this one here, by pressing Y, it does come back when you change the image, which is a bit annoying if you are trying to read a comic. I'm not sure if this is something that could be fixed in a future update, but I guess it's not too big of an issue, and just more of a slight annoyance. So the image viewer is fine, and it does what it says on the box, and it's also nice and fast to load and skip to the next image. You could run your extracted CBRs through a free online image splitter to cut each page into maybe 3 to 5 chunks, depending on what you were reading, which would actually make them pretty readable on this. We did actually do something similar a year or two ago for a Game Boy Advance image viewer, so we can read comics on our SF2000. It actually worked really well, and we even used an old issue of Nintendo Power for that video as well, so it would definitely work here too. It's not the best solution, but it could be an easy way to read comics on here. Overall, another amazing batch of updates by developer Prosty. The simple audio player could be handy for longer tracks if you don't want to have to load into Rockbox, And I still think the image viewer could be handy for comics if you split them into chunks first. The biggest new feature here is easily the video player though. The fact it can play high bitrate 1080p MP4s basically flawlessly is nothing short of amazing. These low-end devices now actually make pretty great media players. Which is funny since I'm pretty sure that's what the chipset was originally designed for before they decided to slap a gamepad on it and sell it as a handheld. As always, great work and a massive thank you to Prosty. But I think that'll do it for today. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching.